That is such a good win, and one that I am going to savour for so long. It feels like forever since we last won at Old Trafford in the league. Of course, the last time was 14 years ago. Emmanuel Adebayor getting the goal back in 2006, and it shows you just how long ago that was, just how different this current team is to the one that won there so many years ago. And United were poor. I think that's the first thing to say. We've beaten a United side that notoriously have been very poor this season, and we were going into this game in a rut of form ourselves. We've lost at home to Leicester. We've just lost to Manchester City. We've failed to score in either of those games. But this afternoon, the performance was just so different to what we've seen in those games where we've struggled. Against Leicester in the first half, I thought we were very good, very attacking going forward. Second half, we massively dropped off. But this afternoon, I saw a team that really worked hard, really believed in what they were doing, had so many opportunities to score, and thankfully we've done it. And you do worry if we hadn't got that penalty through Hector Bellerin, which was converted brilliantly by Aubameyang, would we actually have scored in this game? I think it was coming in some way, shape or form. We were going to get a goal in this game, but just to have it certified by such a good penalty, really did put my heart at rest, because if we hadn't have picked up 3 points in this game, we'd have been so frustrated and our luck would have been really against us, because we thoroughly deserved the 3 points in this game. The way we dictated play in that first half, the way we controlled the game defensively in the second half, the way we really kept our shape, really just nullified United. Fernandes came off, Van der Beek came on. Neither of those players had any impact on the game whatsoever. Pogba was null and void. He didn't do anything, and we just looked so fluid and bursting with creativity going forward, which is something we have lacked so much in recent games. And I think that is mainly down to everything going through Partey. We've handed him the keys. He's turned on the ignition. He's really changed this Arsenal team, and I thought that was absolutely so evident this evening. And him alongside Mohamed Elneny, you've got to say, as good as Partey was, and Elneny alongside him was just as good. I thought he was so enigmatic, and it wasn't the type of performance we normally see from Elneny, where we're so used to seeing him pass from side to side, backwards, keeps things tidy, keeps things ticking over, but isn't really brave going forward. I didn't see that from him today. I saw a player that burst forward at every opportunity he could, made some really brave passes, some really key decisions, tracked back at every opportunity, just played that box-to-box midfield role superbly, and Partey alongside him, every opportunity getting forward. That burst he did where he took the ball through the legs of the United midfield, just brilliant. And we've missed a player like that for so long. In fact, we've missed two players like that because they both work so well alongside each other. It begs the question now as to what happens to Granit Xhaka and Dani Ceballos, our two midfield starters essentially for the bulk of Arteta's reign towards the end of last season. But it's great to have options in Partey, Elneny when he's playing like that, Xhaka, Ceballos. You can't help but wonder, maybe at home there's no reason why we couldn't play with Partey and Ceballos potentially. Then maybe, I don't know, I'm just throwing ideas around there, but what I saw in midfield was a lot more encouraging from what we've seen in recent weeks, and definitely away from home, Partey and Elneny, I wouldn't really be inclined to change a thing about that. Saka was very good on the left. Willian, a lot of question marks as to why he started this game. I was certainly questioning it as well after Pepe scored such a good goal in midweek in the Europa League, but I think you've got to say, looking at what Willian did, and I know there's a lot of criticism about the amount of times he loses possession, the amount of times he dribbles into no man's land, what he does off the ball is something we don't see Pepe do enough of, and that's his work rate, hurrying down, bringing it back all the way to David De Gea, forcing United to make mistakes. Okay, he's not always great at getting it past the man, but what he does do is he harries, he works incredibly hard, and in games away from home against big teams, he's incredibly useful. I don't think anyone can deny that. I think when you look at, in terms of return on investment, I suppose, Pepe might have scored that goal that Willian had an opportunity to put away when he hit the crossbar. Apart from that, I think there's no real quibbles as to why Willian started this game. But it's interesting what's going on with Nicola Pepe, because such a big investment in the team and just can't seem to start in the league at the minute. So very interesting. And I think maybe you've got players like Willian, like Elneny, away from home, these are our go-to men. But at home, maybe Pepe is one that's going to be a first name on the team sheet. Interesting to see. We know Arteta changes his lineup on a pretty much weekly basis, but this was such an important win to get. I can't stress that enough. Having lost to Leicester, having lost to City, having had some pretty subpar performances where people were starting to question what Arteta is doing, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, by the way. Questioning what a manager is doing, you can still do that and still have full belief in what he's trying to achieve. He's a manager that is still only in his first year of being a professional football manager, and that shouldn't be forgotten. He will make mistakes, but what I will say is, in his short time at the club, he's brought us an FA Cup trophy, which is by no means an easy feat, and he's got us our first win away at Old Trafford in 14 years. That's something that Wenger couldn't do for about 12 years. It's something that Emery couldn't do And when you compare this game to the game we played at Old Trafford last season, the change in quality, my God, is absolutely outstanding. We were so much better than the performance last year. United, I thought, was still as poor as they were last year. But this United side is so strange. I mean, putting 5 past Leipzig, looking more encouraging as each week goes by, but then they put in performance like that. They put in a performance like the one at home to Spurs. I just can't work out this United side. They really seem to be so inconsistent, so lacking in belief at times. But I'm really happy that we took full advantage of their discrepancies essentially and got the win. I would have been gutted if we hadn't won this game. As I say, we had everything there, all the tools, all the minerals to win this game, and we're coming away with a 1-0 win at Old Trafford, and I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest with you. Gabriel, fantastic. Rob Holding, fantastic. Tierney, Bellerin, fantastic. Bellerin winning the penalty. Willian slipping him through. There's not one player I can really criticise. Apart from maybe Lacazette, I think, he's still not in the best of form, but what I would say is made so many recoveries, worked so hard, a lot of interceptions, held the ball up incredibly well. I don't think he had a bad game by any means today. It's just in terms of getting assists, getting goals. He did put Aubameyang through for a good opportunity, which Aubameyang may have done slightly better on if it wasn't for a slight deflection off Lindelof. But apart from that, I thought Lacazette had a pretty well-established game. But it's Elneny that I'm really pleased with, and he's arguably my man of the match. I thought Partey was man of the match as well. There's so many players out there that you could pick as a contender for man of the match, but I think it's got to be one of those two, Elneny or Partey, and I think it maybe Partey just slightly edges it, but let's not underestimate exactly what Elneny did in this game, because he is one of those players that we can be so quick to criticise. I know when I saw the lineup, I was like, my God, what is Arteta thinking playing the likes of Elneny? But he's proved me wrong. He's really shut me up, and I could not be happier for the guy. Really, really fantastic this evening. But yeah, apart from that, not too much to add. I just think we've done such a good job on United. We've got Villa at home next, who are conceding goals left, right and centre. I mean, it's still a dangerous side going forwards, but we should have the beating of them at home. And then we've got Mould in midweek, and we should be beating them as well. And then, we've beaten Dundalk, we've beaten Man United. Hopefully we beat Mould, and then potentially another win against Aston Villa. I don't want to start looking into the future too much, but if we could get 4 wins in a row, that would be fantastic. That would be absolutely fantastic. But great win today. Can't tell you quite how happy I am with it. I'm sure you guys are as well. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, I'll speak to you very, very soon, guys. I'll see you later.